Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. So I've been kind of sporadically here and there going back through Season 3 of Strange New Worlds, giving the season a rewatch, hoping that I might see some episodes in a different light at all of my kind of episode discussions. I hesitate to call them reviews, but I guess they kind of are. Review to me is something that you spend a little more time with and kind of write out, and mine are more just kind of, I watch this, here are my immediate thoughts, just hoping maybe I'd go back and see a few things differently, and maybe a slightly more positive light. Maybe I was a little too harsh on some things. And watching the season as a whole, too, that can frequently make a difference with a lot of seasons of shows, particularly these much shorter modern TV seasons, where sometimes viewing things within the context, reviewing over the season, you might see some things that connect everything, make it flow a little better, and kind of give you a connected, positive vibe for the series. But that's just not what happened here. I really didn't change any of my opinions. Nothing really was swayed one way or the other. And even viewing it as a whole, it really just felt like this disjointed, jumbled mess of a season that just couldn't figure out what it wanted to do. Even going with the premise of kind of a different style or genre each week, that's something that could work potentially, but nothing really worked well within the confines of what the kind of story style of the week was. And even the episodes where I was contemplating, I was doing like my bottom three and my top three, but I just couldn't really come up with it, because even the episodes that I did find some things to like in, I don't think every single episode was downright terrible in season 3, but even the episodes that I think swayed more towards the positive rather than negative still had a lot of weak points, a lot of negative elements in them, where it just didn't quite get there. There wasn't a single episode of the bunch that I could really point to, and especially in rewatching, and say, this was fantastic. Even some episodes that I think were good, and as far as they accomplished their premise in a competent way, still really were a little forgettable, and just nothing quite stood out. Forgettable in the positive sense. Some episodes were very unforgettable, like Four and a Half Vulcans, and that's kind of where the season is for me, is that every episode was either absolutely negative, or the ones that had some positive elements, they were really weighed down by some of the more negative elements. And I talked about some positive aspects of the next to last episode, Terrarium, but at the same time, the overall premise was just sort of a lazy rehash of an idea that you can reuse and make it feel fresh and original, but they just didn't quite get there. It still had some good points. I hated the last few minutes. It kind of ruined the whole thing for me, but it still had a few good points to it. Even the Salado Ate Its Tail, Shuttle to Kenfori, and A Space Adventure Hour, all of those had some good things in them, but overall just didn't really shine. Really just there was nothing in here that was a knock it out of the park, just kind of fantastic, a home run, like this was a great episode amidst the bad. Every bit of the season, even in rewatching, that was okay, but nothing spectacular or downright terrible. And that just makes it a very weak season overall, and one that this will not be joining. I have seasons 1 and 2 of Strange New Worlds on Blu-ray, and again, I think season 1 wasn't perfect, but strong, and at least held some potential. We're like, wow, we could actually get a real good traditional Star Trek show out of this. It is possible, even though, again, there were some problems, it was still good. Season 2 was a little more mixed. It was hit or miss, but it still had those moments in those episodes that were pretty good. It was like, okay, a few misses here or there, but every show has stumbling blocks. Maybe we'll pick it up on third season, get even better. But here, it will not be joining seasons 1 and 2 for me on my TV show collection, because after rewatching every one of these episodes, I can't pick out a single one that I would want to rewatch a third time. Really disappointing that that's what I'm coming away with. I was hoping there would at least be, before we got to the end of the season, one shining example of, well, wow, this clicked, this worked. Here's a reason to at least rewatch part of the season, but there's just nothing that, to me, would be worth coming back to. I am going to be checking out season 4 when it comes out. I've made it so this far into the series, and there has been some good and some bad, so maybe this is just going to be the worst season, and we'll pick it up and it'll be better in season 4. I don't really have any realistic hopes that that's the case. I'm kind of struggling to muster any real anticipation, but I will check it out just in case there's that slim possibility that it does get better, and that's short season 5. But I don't know, because already we've had some comments from Akiva and other people talking about the differences between season 3 and 4, and how season 3 was really difficult and wasn't quite up to where they wanted it to be, and season 4 is going to be better, and it's going to be a lot more true to concept, more serious sci-fi episodes. But at the same time, the only thing we know about season 4 is that it has the like puppets episode. So it's like had that counter to the commentary talking about that season 4 is going to be kind of shifting into a new direction that feels very much more on brand to the direction that Stranger Worlds has been going into. So yeah, that's just kind of my come away from season 3, is that everything ranged from mediocre to bad, and there wasn't a single episode that really struck gold and came out with something that I would like to revisit again and again. And it's really sad that that is where the series is at, and I hope again that it picks up and will at least get a solid ending, because I would hate for it to just sort of peter out, and that's where I think things are sadly probably going to go. I think that this era is really just kind of winding down, and I don't think it's going to go out with a bang. I think it's going to go out with a sputter, and I hope that I'm wrong about that. We'll see here in the future, but I think it's where things are going, sadly, and season 3 just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's a little bit just this lingering disappointment, and that's all I really take away from it. It's not a season that consists of any adventures that I would want to revisit.